I don't judge people. I just give my fair opinion. Come on in, lounge with John. The lounge is where we talk about everything and anything. Leave out all the drama and all the trouble. Lounge with John. We welcome everybody in the lounge. So come on in, lounge with John. Come on in and lounge with John. Everybody's welcome here. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Welcome back to Lounge with John. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Lounge with John. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Blind Nation Videos.
Welcome to Cooking in the Dark.
Welcome to Cooking in the Dark. This is Cheryl Cummings, and I'm going to introduce to you the man who proves to us every week that you don't need sight to cook dinner tonight, Dale Camble.
That's right. You don't need any sight to cook dinner tonight. Let's see here. I'm getting my little plastic doodad out. I say doodad. You know, the thing that, get my apron on here. The little sheet that we put out on the countertop here so we don't make a mess. Getting some parchment paper out. Because we're going back to school, y'all. School's starting. Can you hear all the parents going, hooray, hooray? And all the teachers going, no, no.
But quietly. We don't want to give the kids a bad. Oh, you have to say, I'm so sad you're going back to school.
Yes.
I'm going to miss you
every
day. Asking, what are we doing today?
Yeah. It's like the little boy goes back to school, summer vacation's over, and second day of school, his teacher's calling him, Jack is misbehaving, and his mom says, look, I had him all summer long, and I never called you once to complain about him misbehaving. Don't be bothering me, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the teacher's like, oh, God, here we go, you know. Now, see, as a kid, I never knew this until I married a school teacher.
we were confident that they just loved and adored us.
Yes, and they were going to miss us so much. And they didn't ever want us to leave, and they wanted to teach forever. Doesn't work that way, man. Doesn't work that way. So today, for back to school, you know, there was nothing better than coming home from school and having Mom there to greet me with a glass of milk and a nice big old chocolate chip cookie. That made it worthwhile. Made that, that uphill walk all the way home. Same uphill walk I had to make to school.
Amazing how that works. Yes, go ahead.
And what's crazy is, when school started in September, man, it was snowing. It was horrible, Had to walk 3 miles uphill in the snow every day. No, so we're going to make chocolate chip cookies today. And then we're also, in case you don't want to go all the way out on this chocolate chip cookie recipe, because, it's not that bad. You've got some flour, some sugar, a little vanilla, some chocolate chips. We're going to sneak in a little surprise. We're going to put in some M&Ms, too. Make those good, It's baking soda. Yeah, it's got a few ingredients. They're not that hard. But then we're also going to do a peanut butter recipe that's so simple. 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. Quick and simple, Yeah. And it's so easy. You just, mix it all up, and away you go with it, too. So that's what's in store today. For Labor Day now, I want to talk about something else you can do, which is so simple. And we've already got ours made here and cut up. In fact, Cheryl and I were joking about it. I'm like, this is the stuff we wouldn't eat when we were kids. But it's Jell-O. You just mix your Jell-O up. A big box of Jell-O, and to do that, it's a cup of boiling water, I believe. And then once it's boiling, you add your Jell-O into it, and then you add a package of just regular gelatin, also, and then the rest of your water, and pour it. Let it set up. I recommend pouring it into a glass. I used a glass cake pan, a 9x13 glass cake pan. Pour it in, refrigerate it, let it chill. Once it sets up, you don't even have to put it in the refrigerator to chill. It just makes it faster. But once it sets up, with that extra gelatin in there, it won't melt if you have it sitting out. So you can cut these into cubes. Some people use cookie cutters. Some they have little heart cookie cutters or whatever. Make little shape, whatever. But you can throw a couple of those in your kid's lunch or have them there for your child when they come home from school. or just have to throw out on the dinner plate, you know. But they're great snacks, too, that you can leave out, cut them all up into cubes, and then just scrape them out and put them in a bowl, and there they are, ready to go. But because of it being the gelatin, and this would be something great that you could take to somebody's house on Labor Day. You know, make them, maybe make red ones, you know, and make some blueberry, make some cherry and blueberry ones, mix them up together, or layer it.
Oh, that would be pretty.
Put your red in, and even if you wanted to get really fancy, you could tilt the pan. Put a wooden spoon or something under the pan so that, you know, one side's higher than the other with the first layer. And when that sets up, then put the second layer in and put the pan flat so that way they'll be diagonal.
Ooh.
Oh, fancy schmancy. Then cut them up or whatever you want to do with them. But, yeah, they're great. Now, another thing you can do for the adults, if you're doing the Labor Day party, instead of putting gelatin in, instead of adding that second cup of water, add vodka and let it set up. And make adult Jell-O squares.
Really? Now that
Yeah.
I might eat.
Yeah, you're in. 2 squares will make you go, wee! A little bit differently today. So all kinds of cool stuff you can do, man. All kinds of cool stuff. Let's see, what's going on at the Mice Mart? Blind Mice Mart has the Magic Chef talking microwave on a special purchase plan. $69 down and shipping. And then 4 payments of $75 will get you that Magic Chef microwave. So if you can't afford the full $369 for the Magic Chef talking microwave, the same one that you hear us use on the show here, you know, it's awesome. 4 power levels, easy to set, easy to use. And the best part is when it starts cooking, when you push the start, boink, it tells you the time you've set it for, the power level you're on, and it says, I'm starting, ba-ding, kicks on, and away it goes. But we've got that on a payment plan right now. So if you, because I mean, $400, not a lot of people have that laying around. So do it on the payment plan, set yourself free, get a hold of that. You deserve the talking Magic Chef microwave. Think about how much you'll just save in microwave cookware that you've burnt or melted. Because
Well,
40 seconds becomes 40 minutes accidentally. Like, how did that happen, you know?
And your own personal life, you know, your own personal health, because you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to use the microwave. Am I pushing a minute, or is it 4 minutes, or what am I doing?
Well, yeah, when we were in St. Croix, we bought these little breakfast sandwich things. I couldn't work the microwave that was in that place.
Right.
You know, in the room, I have no idea what buttons made what happen. I couldn't even get it to cook. Craziness. But with this, I mean, they've got a special panel they put on it. They take the existing panel off, put a special panel on. It's got all these awesome buttons that you can feel. You know, it's set up like a telephone keypad. So it's got 12 buttons on it. They're raised. You can feel them. If you touch the button, just touch it, tap it. It'll tell you its function. If it doesn't have a function, it beeps at you.
And it
Pick
all,
another button, buddy.
and it all speaks.
And it all talks.
I mean, so...
And there's even a kitchen timer on it. So if you're not using the microwave and you need to set a timer, you can set a timer on it too. If you got something in the oven, on the cooktop, whatever. You know, or you're exercising, you want to exercise for 30 minutes before you eat that ice cream, there you go. Set your timer there. So very cool. The Magic Chef talking microwave. Just go to blindmicemart.com and just search for Magic Chef. It'll pop up. It'll pop up. And the other thing is, I forgot to say, you get a free cookbook.
You do.
You get the free microwave cookbook. So it's got all types of recipes. In fact, we've done some of the recipes out of it here on the show. I think it's got I don't know if the shrimp one we did came out of there or not, but it's got desserts, it's got main dishes, it's got sides, it's all got all kinds of good stuff in it. And you can either get that in the electronic format where it's a text file that you can open up on your computer and read that way, or on any of your devices it'll do text files, or you can get a Braille copy, either one. That's free too when you sign up for the purchase plan. So check it out, y'all. blindmicemart.com, the Magic Chef talking microwave on the payment plan. Or just call them. Their phone number's at the bottom of the page. Just give them a call. They'll hook you up. They'll talk to you. The mice are cool. Even with the cat's there, he's okay. So, Cheryl, first day of school. It's coming. Some kids are already in school. Others are just starting next week. Some are like us. We never started until after Labor Day back in the day.
This is true.
Jerry Lewis, bless his heart, passed away today. Yep. God bless him. No more Labor Day telethons. That always was a signal of it's appropriate, I guess, that he passed away, like when school's starting, because that was always my signal that crap, Jerry's on, school starts. So this teacher's teaching math, and she realizes that Daphne there is not paying attention. So she says, Daphne, and this is third grader, Daphne, what is 2 and 4 and 28 and 47? And Daphne goes, that's ABC, CBS, HBO, and the Disney Channel. Daphne had it going on, y'all. All right. We'll be right back on Cooking in the Dark. We're going to start off with a chocolate chip cookie. Don't go anywhere. Bring your own milk. We'll be right back.
Dale Camble here with Cooking in the Dark, and let me ask you a question. When you take something out of the oven and you hear a sizzling sound, do you realize it's you sizzling and not the food? When you're grilling, do you find that your fingers getting cooked, not the meat? If so, you need to get some Grips oven mitts, the same ones that I use when I do Cooking in the Dark. These great mitts will not only protect you to temperatures up to 500 degrees, but they also protect you against steam burns and also burns from hot liquids. They clean up real easy. Just wash them off under the faucet or toss them in the dishwasher. The main reason I love them, though, being blind, I can actually identify what I'm touching right through the mitts without getting burnt. Now try that with a great big old cotton mitt. Also, unlike a cotton mitt, these babies are non-flammable, so you won't touch something accidentally and catch on fire. You know where to get them. Visit blindmysmart.com online and order your set of Grips right now. Or, if you can't get online, give them a call.
713-893-7277.
And start taking the sizzle out of yourself and putting it back in the food where it belongs.
Now here's more of the show with Dale Camble and Cheryl Cummings.
There y'all go. School's back. The wheels on the bus. Now I know y'all are going to be cussing me because you're going to be singing that for the rest of the day. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Oh, not nice.
The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. Hey, at least we didn't play Barney, man.
Oh, this is true.
Okay, so Cheryl, why don't you hit us up? Read us the ingredients in this here thing.
Oh, the chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, easy peasy. Makes 80 cookies. Just a little heads up.
Yeah.
But it's back to school. You need 80 cookies.
Yeah, and that'll vary. It depends on how big you make them.
Oh, for true. Okay, so here we go. We need a cup of butter softened, 3/4 cup of sugar, 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon hot water, 2 cups walnut chopped, optional, 2 cups 12 ounces, semi-sweet chocolate chips, and that's all you need.
Okay, very good. Now the walnuts, of course, you can substitute cashews, almonds. Of course, down here in the South, you know what we do? We do pecans.
Pecans, yes.
Pecans. So I'm just getting the butter out. Now, a cup of butter is 2 sticks of butter.
Yeah, only took me 6 years to learn that. But yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But you got it now, girl.
Maybe.
No, you got it. You got it. You would amaze yourself here. I had a little bit of this. This butter was a little soft, so I was helping some of it off the paper. Got a little butter on my hands. A little warm water will take care of that. So we need to add now also, we need to cream our sugars, okay? Right. So that's what we're going to do first. We've got our butter in our bowl. I'm going to be using the stand mixer. Okay, so we need 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And y'all, I keep my brown sugar in the freezer.
All right. Did you say 3/4 cup of brown sugar?
Is that what I'm supposed to have?
Yes.
Okay.
And 3/4 cup of granulated sugar.
Perfect. As it turns out, that is just about how much sugar we're going to have of brown sugar. Time to put that on the shopping list. But by keeping it in the freezer, you won't end up with that brick, y'all, that you'll normally be associated with, that you're used to finding.
Right. When you just open it up and then put it back in the box and put it in your cabinet.
Yes. Now, sometimes you can microwave it, and that'll help bring it back to life a little bit. It'll help melt it down.
Yeah.
But most of the time, once it becomes a brick, it's a brick. Yeah. Be like Nick Anderson shooting free throws against the Rockets back in the 90s. He threw up some bricks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, 4 of them in a row. It was awesome. We ended up winning the game in the finals against Shaq, Akeem the Dream. Back in the good old days. Back when we had a championship in Houston. We might do that with baseball, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We got to get by them Red Sox. They're looking pretty good. Those Indians are looking pretty good. It's going to be a good September for baseball. Okay, so we've got our sugars and our butter in here.
Right.
So we're just going to cream all this together. Like them sound effects. Let me get I've got a little rubber spatula scraper thing here so that we can scrape down the sides of the bowl just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just scraping it down. I stop the mixer. Now, if you're using a hand mixer, just, stop it and scrape it down in the middle. You just want to get it all mixed up, creamed together. Get a good, nice little base going. You know us blind cooks, we got to get our hands and everything, check it all out. Okay.
Do you want to do the dry ingredients, or are we going to focus on these for now?
Yeah, we can do the dry.
Okay. So it's just the 2 1/4 cups of flour and a teaspoon of salt.
And a teaspoon of salt? Okay.
Yeah. Because I think they have you mix the 1 teaspoon baking soda with a teaspoon of hot water.
Okay, with the hot water. Okay.
Yeah. And that's kept separate from the dry ingredients.
Okay. So 2 1/2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the flour and the salt. How much salt? Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, like a teaspoon.
Okay. That I'm just going to measure in the palm of my hand, y'all. I know how much about the teaspoon is. That's about it right there. So I just poured it into the palm of my hand. Okay. There's the salt. Now you can pour that in the palm of your hand and just use your teaspoon measurer, your little teaspoon,
right,
and scoop it out, and then you're good too. So you're not trying to pour it into it from your salt dispenser. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's start adding our flour. It's 1. I'm adding it a half a cup at a time.
Okay.
Using my half cup measuring cup here.
So, speaking of salt, it was very interesting. I was looking to buy salt, and I found that they had kosher salt. They also had pink salt, which I didn't have the guts to purchase, but it was very interesting.
I think pink salt is even a little bit better than regular salt.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think, somebody out there listening might correct me on this, but I believe the pink salt is unbleached.
Okay.
Maybe.
Huh.
Okay, now we're starting to get a little doughy here. There's our 2 1/2 cups of flour. You can hear the mixer kind of rocking and rolling a little bit.
Right.
You lock the head down. Okay. Baking soda and water time?
I would hold off. You could, you check the butter and sugar to see how creamed it is, because you want to add in your 2 eggs and your teaspoon of vanilla. And let it cream some more.
Okay.
Or, as it says, until it's light and fluffy.
Light and fluffy. Okay. We're going to make it light and fluffy. There go our eggs and the vanilla.
Teaspoon of vanilla.
Teaspoon, okay. Just a little bit. Okay.
1 teaspoon vanilla.
Got it. Then we need to put our flour in.
Yes, you're going. So yeah, you put in half the flour, and then you'll mix your baking soda and water together, and then you put that in, and then you put the rest of the flour in. Interesting. I don't think we've ever had a recipe that had you mixing the baking soda with
That
water.
broke it down like this? Yeah. And it's 1 teaspoon of hot water? Or tablespoon? Teaspoon. And a teaspoon of baking soda?
Yep. Teaspoon of baking soda and teaspoon of hot water. So are you just taking water from the sink for the hot water?
Yes, I've got hot water rolling.
Yeah.
Coming out of the faucet. I'm going to get my baking soda first. Ooh, we're going to need to put this on the list too. Down at the bottom of this box. Baking soda is so great for everything. Okay. Now we'll get our water. Okay. Mix this up. Okay. And then this goes in. I just used a perfect bowl here.
Nice. I like those a lot because, as you said, it's got those, what do you call it, like the spout?
Yeah, the little pour spout and then the gold wings on each side, so it really helps. You've really got to work to over pour to make a mess using these things. Okay, so we're just mixing. I think I'm going to stop for a second here and do a little scrape down, break down. Little Beverly Hills Cop singing action for you there.
We appreciate that.
I know you do. See? No telling what you're going to do. So the other day on the radio, they had the DJ was talking about movies. I'm just scraping down the beater. I'm scraping down the sides of the bowl here. Mm-hmm. But he was talking about movies that have to do with a particular state. You know, like what movie is representative would make you instantly think of a particular state, like Dead Poets Society, for Massachusetts, or Good Will Hunting or something, Mm-hmm. And for Texas, it was Giant.
Giant?
I'm like, I've never watched Giant.
Okay.
So, have you?
Nope, never even heard of it.
Okay. Totally set in Texas, kind of up in the hill country. I mean, not in the hill country, but out in kind of West Texas, out in the Midland, Odessa area. Okay. But yeah, man, it's got trains, it's got horses, it's got cowboys, it's got, everything in it. Oil wells. Huh. Pretty interesting little movie made for, Elizabeth Taylor's in it, Rock Hudson, and James Dean. So check it out. Go to the vault and get it. Check it out, y'all. It's pretty cool.
Blues Brothers.
Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, too. That's one of the movies that, I've got a lot of movies, and that you just kind of got to watch. Okay, so we're going to let this mix up a little bit here, Cheryl.
Okay.
We've got our flour in now. We've got everything in. So where are we going from here? What do we do next?
I think once it's all stirred together...
All mixed up?
All mixed... Oh, you got to add in your chocolate chips?
Oh,
in your M&Ms.
M&Ms. Okay. Yeah. So no other ingredients? We don't have anything else to go in?
No. You've got the flour all mixed in. You've got the baking soda and water mixed in. Yes?
We're good to go.
All right.
Eggs are in.
All right.
Butter's in. Sugar's in. Neller's in.
Right.
Woohoo! We're almost there, y'all. See, this isn't that hard, y'all.
No.
This isn't that bad. Let it mix up. Let it beat up a little bit here. Okay. Yeah. Let's pull this head up.
Because sometimes when you make the chocolate chip dough, you usually put it in the fridge and you let it sit.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
We're going to do it? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is still really creamy and really sticky. Mm-hmm. Okay? This would be kind of hard, I think, to form into cookie dough. I mean, it's already cookie dough. Sorry.
Okay.
To form into like cookies, because it is very sticky. Mm-hmm. As I'm just kind of using my fingers to clean off the beater. Mm-hmm. of our stand mixer. But once we let it chill, the audience is all fired up on the chilling because they know what's next. When it chills, that means we're going to be out in the audience.
This
hanging.
Is true.
They like it,
Yeah.
Get me some autographs, talk to some people, see if I can find a volunteer to clean the kitchen up for us after we're done. Okay. So now, 2 cups of chocolate chips. Mm-hmm. Let me get the ID mate fired up here. ID mate. We're using a special chocolate chip. Semi-sweet chocolate chips is what they recommend.
Right.
Let me tell you what we're going to use.
Product Hershey's Special Dark Mildly Sweet Chocolate Chips.
Dark chocolate.
Wow.
Now you can use regular semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's what's recommended in the recipe. Mm-hmm. But Dale likes dark chocolate.
I bet you could do half and half, right?
You could?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You could do peanut butter chips. You could do mint chips. I mean, you could do all M&Ms if you wanted to.
This is true.
Once you get this base dough made, you could do dark chocolate and white chocolate. Mm-hmm. You could do butterscotch. They've got it all, man. Okay, so here's 1 cup. This is that 6-ounce bag is going to be just about, if I remember correctly, it's just a little more than 2 cups. Okay, so I'm going to use my scraper now. I'm just going to fold these in. I don't want to use the mixer. And if you're using a hand mixer, you don't want to use that because it'll really tear up these chocolate chips.
Yeah, I was thinking about the M&Ms. I'm like, oh, my goodness, they'll just smash them all to pieces if you use... This is the point where you just want to mix it using your spoon or whatever it is you're using.
Yeah, if you have a spatula, like I've got this rubber spatula thing, I'm just folding it all into the bottom, lifting up from the bottom, folding it over. Just kind of mixing it all in. If you have a wooden spoon, that'd work great. Because, again, this stuff's pretty thick and doughy, but it's not to the point of being crazy doughy, you know? It's definitely not as thick as, like, when we made those faux brownies that time. That concrete.
That takes a lot of energy.
That takes a lot of... Yeah, you got to have some powerful forearms to stir that stuff up, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that stuff, y'all, it calls for a box of graham crackers. You crush all those up. You add 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk, and then a 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And it's just, woo, stirring that stuff up is so hard. It's so thick. Okay, so there's 1 cup.
It's very, very tasty once it's made.
What I did, y'all, I snipped off the corner of my bag of chocolate chips, and I'm just holding my measuring cup over my bowl that I have the dough in, and I'm just slowly pouring the chocolate chips out. And a 6-ounce bag, I mean, if you wanted to put it all in there, it's just about 2 cups, so there's just a few little ones left. Yeah, you know, we'll go ahead and put them in there. We're going to make a chip ahoy, cookie where you can't take a bite without biting a chip.
Lovely. That
Now
makes everybody happy.
I've got a regular-sized bag of M&Ms, so we're not going to overdo the M&Ms, but instead of putting nuts in, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put M&Ms in.
Okay. So, do you think, because it called for, I think, 2 cups of chopped walnuts. So, how much do you think?
This is probably about a half a cup.
Okay.
In fact, let me get the measuring cup, and this is the 1 cup measuring cup. Yeah, half a cup.
Okay.
Of M&Ms. Okay, just still mixing. Just pushing down, lifting up, pushing down, lifting up with the dough. Just trying to incorporate all this, get a good little mix in here. Okay. Just kind of going down to the bottom and pulling the dough up, going up and popping it back over. Just folding it in, y'all. That's what that's called. Just folding it in. You just want to fold it in. That way we don't break the M&Ms. We don't break up the chocolate chips. We're just folding them in. Okay. Okay, now, Cheryl, like we talked about, we're just going to toss this in the fridge and let it chill. What do we need to bake at? 350?
375.
375. Okay. We'll do that after break. But right now we're going to throw this in the fridge. Let it chill. If you want to let it chill overnight, that's great. Like we've talked about before, make your doughs up one day and then bake the next. You can do that. We'll be right back. Cooking in the Dark. Don't go anywhere because the best part is yet to come. We're going to bake some cookies.
This is Noah Carver, and I wonder if you know where to get an awesome Braille cookbook. Well, I do. At Blind Book Stop, there's over 190 different titles to choose from, all in Braille. And if you prefer it this way, or you're not a Braille reader, we've got you covered because we've got the conveniently easy electronic text format that you can open on your computer, lickety-split. So get yourself down to blindbookstop.com, where you'll go crazy with over 190 titles to choose from. blindbookstop.com. Set yourself free in a whole new galaxy. Expand your quest into a new galaxy. Trade-ins of your old quest are still being accepted. You deserve your independence. You deserve the new Galaxy Talking Portable Barcode Reader. For more information about trading in your old quest, visit blindmicemegamall.com or call the mice at 713-893-7277.
Now, more of the show with your host, Dale Camble and Cheryl Cummings.
All right, so my cookie sheet here, y'all, and we're not going to, like I said, we're not going to oil or grease this thing. I'm just pulling off a piece of parchment paper. Put that on our cookie sheet. This will make it so easy when these are done to cool them, because all you have to do is slide this parchment off right onto the cooling rack. The cookies won't stick, no fuss, no muss. It's awesome. So I've got our cookie scoop here, Cheryl, which is really cool. It's a teaspoon and a half, and it's spring-loaded, kind of like a quick release, kind of like an ice cream scoop. It's got a little handle
nice. Okay.
that you squeeze,
Right.
so it pops your dough right out. So all we do is scoop in our dough. Oh, yeah, our dough's excellent. Nice and firm, not too hard, not too soft. As Goldilocks would say, it's just right. So you scoop into the dough, find the place on your baking sheet, squeeze the handle together, and look at that, your cookie pops right out. Perfect. One, there we go again. Just make sure it's a level scoop, okay? Come back over here. You know where you want to position it at. Squeeze, and there's your next cookie. Just that easy. This makes it so quick and easy, y'all. So nice. And what I'll do with these next, this will be after the show, but because of time, there's not enough time. So there's my 3 fingers. There's where I want that cookie. Squeeze the handle, that cookie pops right out. Scoop in the dough. Make sure we've got a nice level measurement. There it is. 3 fingers over from that last cookie. There it is. Squeeze the handle, and there's our cookie. Plop. So nice and easy. That's all there is to it. There's our cookies. There's 4 down, 8 to go. But what I'll do with this dough is after the show, I'm going to go ahead and I probably won't do these whole dozen or the rest of this batch. Listen to the moans out there. Golly. Y'all didn't eat lunch today or what?
You did say you were making cookies.
I know. Cookies are dessert. They should have ate. And anybody went to Chick-fil-A, you didn't bring me anything. Uh-huh. Now you want cookies. Uh-huh. Yeah. Where are you going? Oh. That dude's taking off Chick-fil-A. Don't forget Cheryl. Maybe we'll get a Chick-fil-A after all. Okay. Yeah, this makes it so easy, this cookie scoop. And what's nice is all the cookies are going to be uniform in size, pretty close. Just a squeeze of the handle, and the cookie falls right out, right onto the cookie sheet. And what's cool, too, is that when it's in here, if you don't squeeze it, like right now it's upside down, okay? But it doesn't come out until I squeeze it out. Until I squeeze the little handle and it pops right out. Hello. I'm ready to be baked. Now we need to do these, at 375?
Right, for I think 10 to 12 minutes.
Beautiful. What I love about these is once they come out, there's no hassle of scraping them off the pan. You know, because some cookies, even if you're using a grease pan, man, if they sit there for too long, it's like scraping concrete or something, you know? They're
That's
hard
true.
to...
Yeah,
and
they crisp up so quickly that you're like, what happened?
What happened? Yes. I broke a tooth. Again, I'm using the 3-finger spacer method. 3 of my fingers is about 2 inches or so. On my cookie sheet, I'm getting a dozen cookies per pan. Let me tell you what makes it so easy, too, is the fact that these things, since they're all uniform in size, they're all going to cook the same.
That's important.
There's my cookies. Okay. Just checking to make sure I didn't miss a hole. Make sure I got a dozen. Because I will be counting cookies on people. Mm-hmm. And I'm just joking. We'll make more once we get done. Once we get off the air, we'll make some more. I'm messing with y'all. Okay, y'all. Into a 375 oven. Mr. Producer, Magic Man, if you'll get the time machine fired up, we'll throw these in, do a little quick time machine, and we'll be out on the other side before you can say lickety-split. So listen, y'all. While the time machine is in motion, keep your hands and feet into yourself. Don't breathe, don't cough, and definitely don't take a drink of anything. All right. Here we go. How long? 10 to 12 minutes?
Yep. Beautiful.
All right. We'll see y'all on the other side. Everybody here? Everybody.
Are you kidding? Cookies?
Yeah, everybody. We probably picked up a few people on the way. All right. Well, they're done. Let's get them out. Beautiful. Now, being that these are on the parchment paper, We're just going to let them sit here and cool just for a minute or two on the pan. Okay. And then we'll transfer them to our cooling rack. Smell good. I got to touch one, see if it's done.
We're
Soft
just lucky.
to the touch.
I was going to say, we're just lucky you're not trying to sneak one off the pan right now.
Not yet. You'd know. Hot. Very good. Okay. I got my cooling rack here. Let me get it ready to go so we can get those transferred in just a second. Very good. I like it when a plan comes together. Almost as much as I like a chocolate chip cookie. Cool. Okay. Very good. Now, with the parchment paper, y'all, there's going to be no scooping or slipping or any of that stuff. All you got to do is just slide the parchment paper off right onto the cooling rack, and you're good to go. And by the time, if you're baking multiple batches, by the time your next batch of cookies comes out, they will be done. Nice. Okay. So we're good to go here, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be hooking you up with a cookie in just a minute.
Why
don't we go ahead and take a little break? Take a little breaky break, and we'll come back, and we will make some peanut butter cookies. How about that?
Order online or order by phone. 713-893-7277.
Blind My Smart has your perfect product. Braille measuring cups and measuring spoons. That's right, it's a 9-piece measuring cup set from 1/8 of a cup to 2 cups. And they all have Braille. The same with the measuring spoons. You get an 11-piece set that goes from a 64th of a teaspoon, just a little bitty bit, all the way up to 2 tablespoons. You'll never need another measuring set again. And best of all, they're at blindmysmart.com, where you won't lose your tail.
Order online or order by phone. 713-893-7277.
Are you on the Cooking in the Dark listserv? If not, why? Share recipes, tips, and get answers to cooking questions from the other awesome members on the list. It's easy to join. Just send an email to cookingthedark-request@acbradio.org with the word subscribe in the subject line. That is cookingthedark-request@acbradio.org. All squished together, no spaces, with subscribe in the subject line. Join us on the Cooking in the Dark listserv.
Now with more of the show, here's Cheryl Cummings and Dale Camble.
Welcome back to more Cooking in the Dark.
Cooking in the dark. All right, y'all. Peanut butter cookies are next, and they're quick and easy. They're not as difficult, not as many as ingredients. Well, those chocolate chip cookies weren't that difficult, but they sure are good. As can attest, so we've gone through about 1.5 gallons of milk already, people munching on those. So let's make some of these Skippy peanut butter cookies. This one's so easy. We're going to need 1 egg beaten, slightly beaten.
Right.
We're going to need a cup of peanut butter. So here's what we're going to do with the peanut butter first. I'm going to take my 1 cup measuring cup. I'm going to spray it down with some vegetable spray. Okay? So what that will do is allow us, when we put the peanut butter in here, because my peanut butter jar is a little too small to allow this my measuring cup to go in there. Gosh, we're going to need peanut butter too.
Oh my goodness. We're just finishing off.
I tell you what. Getting ready for the season. That's just craziness. So what I'm doing is just spooning out the peanut butter and packing it in my measuring cup, my 1 cup measuring cup here. I think one more will do us. I don't know about y'all, but I love peanut butter as a snack. On crackers.
Yes.
In celery.
Yes.
Okay. So I've got my 1 cup of peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure my egg is slightly beaten. Okay. So in goes the peanut butter.
Well, and the fact that you sprayed that cup means that it just plops right out.
Plops right out.
Very
Doesn't
nice.
stick.
Yeah.
There's it. I got a little bit on my hands. Let me wash that off. Because I was making sure it all came out, but it did.
Right.
Oh, there's a little bit, but Not like it would have been if you didn't pack it down.
Right.
1 cup of sugar.
Right.
Plop. I'd pre-measured that in the 2-cup perfect mixing bowl, so it just plopped right out. We need a teaspoon of vanilla.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all you need.
Now it's time to get crazy. Let's get all this mixed up. Now, if you're using electric mixers, I'm just using a big old spoon. I'm using a regular old tablespoon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using my 8-cup perfect mixing bowl. Just holding it with the convenient handle over here, which is nice because you put your hand right up under the bowl, put your thumb on top, you can really grip the bowl. You're going to need that because this is really becoming a sticky mess. Now the bowls have got that rubber feet on them so they won't slide. Not rubber feet, but a rubber bottom. So we just get this all mixed up together. There we go. Now, on an ungreased cookie sheet, right?
Yep, ungreased, yep.
And we need little balls.
About 1 inch, but don't panic if they are not perfect. Just, you know.
Don't panic.
No panic.
It's okay. Now this stuff comes out, it ends up being like a pretty thick cookie dough.
Cool.
Nice. Okay. Oven at 3 1/4, y'all.
Sort of low, yeah.
Oven at 3 1/4.
Right.
8 to 10 minutes. Do not over bake these. Not that your kids would let you if they're in the house when you're making them.
That's true. They'll monitor for you. They're done.
I never did. Grandma.
I hear the alarm. I think they're done.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm pulling off just some dough here. And I'm going to make some 1-inch balls or thereabouts. You want to put these about 2 inches apart on your cookie sheet. That's a little too much there. Okay. So to do that, I use the old 3-finger method.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to come 2 fingers off from the edge, 3 fingers apart between the cookies.
And the recipe says this would make about 2 dozen cookies. It'll depend.
It'll depend on how big you make your cookies.
This is true.
Okay.
And then once you've got it on the pan, you could use a fork to sort of push the top down a little.
Oh yeah, because peanut butter cookies, y'all, they've always got the crisscrosses on top.
Right.
That was one of the first things I learned about cookies. Crisscrosses means peanut butter. Okay. So we've got half a dozen made here, Cheryl. Put that there. Okay. These won't expand much when they cook, just because there's no flour, there's no baking powder, baking soda in there to expand.
Mm-hmm.
I needed just a few more here. That one's peel a little bit off of that one. He's a little bit too big. Then we'll get to our crisscrossing. So again, using the 3-finger method, 3 fingers there, 3 fingers there. I think I need 4 more to make a dozen. And I've still got plenty of dough.
All right.
And again, this dough you can refrigerate. So what I like doing, like I talked about with the chocolate chip cookies, yeah, these make delicious little cookies.
Very tasty with milk.
Okay, we're good to go. Now, like I talked about, you could take the rest of this dough and just go ahead and make your balls and then refrigerate them or freeze them.
Mm-hmm.
If you only want to make a dozen of these. If you want to bake them all, go ahead and make your balls and we'll get another batch going. We're only going to make this single batch right now. Did you hear the crowd? That would have been the band. Everybody's like, what? What? So we're using just a regular old fork.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little water running here. So here's what we're going to do with our cookies. Just a little press perpendicular, left to right, and a little press up and down, just to flatten them. Left to right, up and down. Go back under the water. By putting a little water on the fork, it's going to keep the cookie from sticking to it. Okay, left to right, and then up and down. You want to flatten them out to about a 1/4 of an inch thick or so. Mm-hmm. Left and right, up and down. Okay. Plus that water on them is going to help your tine marks from the fork stay in the cookies, which will make them look really attractive. Okay. And you know that comment they made after they come out of the oven, you can put some sprinkles on them, chocolate chips. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. But I know at Sundance Baking and Cooking, y'all, they have got all kinds of cool little additions for cookies. Sprinkles and things, faces and different flavors. Not just the traditional, what we would consider, what I remember as being sprinkles. Mm-hmm. The little colored sugar, or the...
Right.
Remember those little silver balls? Those little balls that were hard as heck? They look more like BBs, I thought, Yeah.
Was that supposed to be just sugar?
I don't know what they were. Wonder they didn't break our damn teeth.
Yeah.
But then again, they let us play with toys with mercury in them and all kinds of stuff. So
That's true.
Okay, there we are, squished. In an oven, 8 to 10 minutes, 325. We will be right back.
Your talking cooking thermometer can do more than just help you in the kitchen. You can use it to take the temperature of your pool.
84.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
Perfect. The talking cooking thermometer in the Blind Mice Mart store at www.blindmicemegamall.com.
Now here's more of the show with Dale Campbell and Cheryl Cummings.
All right, y'all. Cookies, back to school. Remember, the wheels on the bus go round and round, all that cool stuff. So today we made chocolate chip cookies, and we also made Skippy's peanut butter quickie cookies, I guess you could call them. They're awesome, huh? Delicious, too. So why don't you read us some recipes real quick, Cheryl? Let's do with which one you got up? Chocolate chips?
I have the chocolate chip one right in front of me.
That's my favorite.
Okay, here we go. 1 cup of butter, softened. 3/4 cup of sugar.
Okay, regular white sugar.
Yeah, granulated, yep. 3/4 cup brown sugar, dark brown sugar. 2 eggs.
2 eggs.
1 teaspoon vanilla.
Teaspoon of vanilla.
2 1/4 cup of flour.
2 1/4 cups of flour.
1 teaspoon salt.
How much salt?
1 teaspoon salt.
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon baking soda.
Teaspoon baking soda.
1 teaspoon hot water.
And a teaspoon of hot water.
2 cups walnuts, optional, or as we used, what would you say, like 1.5 cups or half a cup of M&Ms?
Use about a half a cup of M&Ms, or you can use pecans, cashews. You can omit the walnuts or the nuts altogether. Sunflower seeds, whatever, blueberries, whatever floats your boat, man.
But you should have 2 cups of chocolate chip.
Yeah, because if you don't have 2 cups of chocolate chips, you can't call it chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, you want to use semi-sweet. We use the dark chocolate semi-sweet,
okay.
Or medium sweet, or whatever they call them. Or you could use some dark chocolate and semi-sweet. Milk chocolate you probably don't want to use because it'd be real sweet.
Yeah.
That would be some real. But you could mix in a little. You could mix them up too if you want to use some white chocolate and the dark chocolate, or you want to use the semi-sweet and white chocolate, or the butterscotch, whatever. About 2 cups of chips, basically, is what we need to toss in there. And that's it, man. You cream together your eggs with your sugar, your butter and your sugar, and then you add your eggs and your vanilla, cream all that together. And then your baking soda, you want to get that prepared. You want to combine your baking soda with your hot water. Mix that up. I just use that little 1 cup perfect mixing bowl to do that and had that sitting there. Slowly add in. I added the flour in a half a cup at a time, instead of, half and half. But just slowly add it in so it mixes in there. And then once you get all your ingredients in and mix it up, then pull your mixer out, and you want to fold in your chocolate chips and nuts, or chocolate chips and M&Ms, or whatever you're putting in there. Because if you use the mixer on it, boy, it's going to break them up. You don't want that. You want to keep them all nice and neat. Then you want to make your balls about, like we did, make the balls about 1 inch or so in diameter. We use the cookie scoop. The cookie scoop is a tablespoon and a half cookie scoop. So that's how big our cookies were.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Which is perfect. So that means they all come out about the same size. You don't have any big ones. They bake evenly, all that good stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have a cookie scoop, what I've done before is rolled them in the balls and then put them down and just kind of just lightly flatten them. You don't have to flatten them a lot because they're going to flatten out as they bake. But I just use the bottom of a water glass, basically. Any glass with a flat bottom, and you want to put a little water on it. Keep it so the cookie won't stick to it, but you can just boop, 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 flatten them down. Mm-hmm. And remember, use parchment paper. Parchment paper is so awesome, so easy to use. Once you start using it, you'll never go back, I swear. Okay, let's talk about them peanut butter cookies.
So these were simple. These are easy peasy. All you need is 1 cup of Skippy peanut butter.
Or any brand peanut butter.
Yeah, 1 cup of sugar.
1 cup of sugar, white sugar, granulated sugar.
1 egg slightly beaten.
Yeah, and beat it after you take it out of the shell.
Please do. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Mix all that up together. It's going to form a nice little dough. Again, pull off your balls, about 1-inch balls, right?
Yep.
Put them on an ungreased cookie sheet. Flatten them with the fork. Do cross and cross so you get your little tine marks on there. And bake them at 325 Fahrenheit for about 8 to 10 minutes. Let them cool for about a minute. If you want to add sprinkles or anything like that to them, do it after you take them out of the oven. Immediately. Then pull off on a wire rack and let them cool. All right. So remember, y'all get to Blind My Smart. Check out that Magic Chef microwave deal. They have a payment plan also for the ID-Mate Galaxy if you can't afford the full $1,300 on that. Check it out. For Cheryl Cummings, I'm Dale Campbell, the Magic Man. We're out. This is Cooking in the Dark. See you next week. AMF.